Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly live immigration attorney chat here at Immigration for Couples. I'm attorney Megan Pastrana, and my team and I, we are dedicated exclusively to helping couples across the nation and across the world in navigating the U.S. immigration process. I'm really happy to be with all of you here today. I was not here last week, but I normally host these on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Last week, I was at an immigration representing clients at their interviews across the country. And then also I went to an immigration conference with attorneys, other immigration attorneys, to talk about all of the changes. There's been 400 policy changes, actually more than that since the start of the year. So we were all come together collectively to discuss those policy changes and implications to our clients. So I wasn't here last week, but I'm here this Tuesday. Next week, we will actually be hosting it on Monday, but then the following weeks, it'll be Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you are new, or if you're watching this on the replay, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Facebook page, wherever you're watching, so you'll be notified when our next live is. During these live events, I answer your most burning immigration questions in the realm of couple-based immigration. And in addition to these live events, we also have tons of free resources. So my team and I have created these resources with love and care and consideration for all of you, because we know going through an immigration process can be extremely overwhelming. And Ria, lovely Ria, amazing Ria from our team, is throwing in the chat for all of you a link to our resource center. It's also at immigrationforcouples.com. And so the resource center, you can download a free chapter of my book right here, Navigating Love and Immigration. On the front cover, this is some of the amazing couples we've had the honor and privilege here at Immigration for Couples to guide through their immigration journey. And you can download a free chapter, the Relationship Evidence Guide, and information about how to prove your relationship and love is real, and tons of other free resources. So check that out whether you're just getting started or in the middle of your journey. All right. Good morning. It's great to have you with us. And so some of you've been here, you've been coming for a while, and you know the drill. For those of you who are new, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I always like to start by asking, where are you at in the world? Where are you at in your immigration journey? And most importantly, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And if you can just go ahead and throw that in the comments, you can answer one or all of those questions. And Nancy, I think, Nancy, you have a question, but yes, let me know. Yay, Anna. Anna in San Diego. It's so great to have you with us. Lovely to see your face here today. All right. So let me know, where are you at in the world? Where are you at in your immigration journey? And most importantly, how are you feeling? And if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to throw that in. And I'm going to start going through the questions we have here in the queue. I am streaming this live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. I will answer the questions in the order that I receive them. I know a few of you have several questions, so I will answer a few of them. And if we get a lot of questions from the audience, out of respect for everyone, I'll go to the next questions. And then if time permitting, I'll go back to your other ones. All right. Yes. And Anna, I love that. You are happy. You're feeling happy. I know the immigration process has a lot of different emotions that come into play, but being happy and having your interview next week is fabulous news. So, oh, this makes my heart so happy for you. You just left your interview here in Bogota and you were approved. Oh, congratulations. We're all celebrating you. I know everybody who's going through an immigration process has been waiting a very long time. But Jose, I know you have been coming for many, many months now and giving us updates, and you are feeling very, I wouldn't say hopeless, but very stressed and sad. And so this makes my heart so happy for you. I'm sure you both are thrilled. So congratulations. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing that. I hope that gives inspiration to others who are going through their immigration journey. But Anna, they're at the finish line here. Interview next week. And Jose, you've been approved. So that's fantastic. All right. Hi to you as well. Hello. Great to have you here with us. So you're in Raleigh, your husband and you're doing well, and you're looking forward to seeing him in December. That's great. That's a good thing to look forward to. Oh. Oops, I'm sorry. I grabbed You're very, very welcome for all the videos and guidance. I'm so glad you were able to be a part of our community and that you benefited and that you have an approval. That's fantastic. All right. You're currently living in Malaysia. Your husband is in the US. So you're trying to move to the US, but you're in the right place to get information about your immigration journey and next steps. All right, so let's start. Keep those coming. And again, if you are just joining us, throw your questions in the queue. I go through them in the order that I receive them, watching on the replay. Do a hashtag replay and let me know what your questions are. All right. So Nancy, your daughter-in-law needs to notify USCIS about a change of address now that she's arrived in the US. So basically they've completed the process. You listed that address on the DS-260, and then she has entered and is now living at that address. So when there's going to be an online fee payment, you'll be putting your address in there and creating an online USCIS account, and the address can be updated in that online USCIS account. Immigration should have that address in the system if that's what is listed on the DS-260. But and when a person enters the United States and after they've paid the visa fee, that first encounter with an immigration officer, an agent, CBP, they're going to be confirming that mailing address as well. But it doesn't hurt when you're paying that filing fee, create that USCIS online account and make sure the address is correct. And it's through that online USCIS account that if she would move again, that she needs to go in there and update her address within 10 days of the move. That's a requirement of all residents. So that online USCIS account will be where that happens. All right. You're very welcome. All right. Yay. So you're watching from Texas in the UK. You're doing well. You're feeling excited, nervous, and grateful to have found this channel. That's a wonderful set of emotions there. And we're really glad to have you here in the community. All right. So who is next? Oh, okay. So Hector, good morning to you as well. And on the affidavit of support, you say that you accidentally answered a question wrong when submitting the information. Will this delay the interview application? You're feeling super stressed. It was a simple question. Where was your husband born? We listed the region I was raised instead. Born in Ponce, Puerto Rico, but listed Orocovis instead. Okay, so it's really important that all of the information on the forms is accurate, and there are thousands of data points, and sometimes you can make a mistake like this. So I know you said you're super stressed, but let's take a deep breath first, and you can amend it. All right. So I don't know what case type you have. I don't know where you're at in the process. I don't know if this is or where you're at in the world, if this is an adjustment of status or a spouse, but you can amend it. So you can amend it in writing if you are doing an adjustment of status by through your online account or through mailing it to the service center or at the interview. If it is a spouse visa case, I'm guessing this is an adjustment. I'm just guessing, but if it is, then you can update it at the interview. So at least you didn't put like a totally, different city or country. So amend it, just amend it. Okay. There are some questions that you definitely, don't want to have wrong information, that it can cause contradictions, red flags, things like that. But this is something that I'm glad you caught it, and it just needs to be amended. All right. So I hope that helps answer your question, and best of luck with your immigration journey. All right. So good morning to you as well. You're very welcome for all the videos. I'm glad that you're going through all of our resources and that you're finding that all helpful. And so let's see, you have a couple parts to your question, and I'm going to do my best to get through as many as I can, but then I am going to skip to some other viewers' questions. And if I have time, I'll come back to yours, just out of fairness for everyone. All right. So you say you're a more senior US UK couple of 6.5 years. You've been engaged 3 years, now married 2 months. Congratulations, you're newlyweds. That's exciting. And you were finally able to start the spouse visa process to file the I-130 this week. Congratulations. That's really exciting. So do the family letters of support need to be affidavit? So the letters of support need to be affirmed or they need to be sworn to. They need to include a line that says that the testimony that the person swears and affirms that it's true and accurate. It doesn't necessarily have to be an affidavit. It can be a letter of support. And actually, one of our amazing team members, Paola, made a video on some tips about the affidavit of support. And so, Ria, you could probably grab that as one of the short videos that Paola made on tips for letters of support that would be helpful for everyone to see. I made a video on this as well. And Ria, which I'm giving you a lot of tasks. Could you throw in the comments too a link for the video I made about K3 applications? Essentially, the K3 is a very archaic tool. It's really no longer used. Why? Because the fiance visa, because the spouse visa typically has a much shorter processing time. K3s have not been approved in many, many, many years. There could be merit, but you also have to understand some of the, I wouldn't say risks, but complexities if a K3 were approved, and kind of put the pros and cons. And so in that video that Ria is going to throw in to the comments about the affidavit of support and the K3, you'll be able to see those details. So there can be merit, but typically it's typically not a fruitful endeavor. So you're wanting to know if I have any experience. Oh, and I think I actually got through your questions. I think you just had them broke down in a lot of parts, and it looked like it was very long. So do I have any experience to my team and I with clients who've had P1 visas? Yes, we have. We've had lots of clients who have had the P visas for athletes, entertainers, things of that nature. So yes, we do. We've helped them be able to go through a spouse or fiance visa process or adjustment of status successfully. So yes, we do. And are there facts such as age, long distance relationship, financial activity looked upon more favorably and processed faster? I highly recommend that you download the free chapter of my book here, the relationship evidence guide. It's on our website. I know you said you're going through all of our resources, but I talk about the different categories of evidence, the types of evidence. Yes, there is some evidence that is stronger, having commingling of finances, having children together, having a relationship of a long duration. Absolutely. But it's not a one size fits all. It's not a cookie cutter approach. Every story, every love story, every couple has their own unique story. And so there are categories of evidence that are going to be stronger, but you might not have those in your particular relationship. And so you'll focus on other categories, such as the lovey-dovey evidence. That's not a legal term, but it's really a balance and making sure your love story is told through the strongest means possible. And so yes, there are some types of evidence that are stronger, but again, I really think that downloading that free chapter of my book will be very helpful. Okay. You're very welcome. All right. So Robert, you're wanting to know, does USCIS give special consideration to spousal visa petitions filed by petitioners who are 75 or older? Unfortunately, they don't. I just want to read the other part of your question. My wife and I married last June here in the US, but she had to return to her home country in the Philippines before you could do the adjustment. Hopefully you filed the spouse visa, or it sounds like you're at least getting started on it, because once that's filed, you're at least one day closer. In terms of whether or not immigration gives special consideration, unfortunately, they don't. The wait times right now are long to get through the spouse visa process. On average, it's taking our couples, specifically from the Philippines, almost 2 years to get through the process. I know that's disheartening to hear. I will say that while they don't give special consideration, something that our firm has done successfully is file something called an expedite request in cases where there are concerns about certain serious or chronic health issues where one person needs to receive treatment or need the support of the other individual. I hope you're both extremely healthy, and that's not even something that's on your radar of needing to do. But while they don't give special consideration, I'd be remiss for not mentioning that that is a mechanism that we have used to get the case moving forward through faster. Okay. So you found, Jim Parker, you just found an addendum with some evidence that you accidentally left out of your K1 fiance visa. You hope you did it right. I hope you did too. There's some pieces of evidence that are absolutely required. So, amending, if you haven't already gotten a decision, you might want to look at doing that, amending and supplementing the application with that additional information. All right. So hello to you as well. You're Tadi from Zimbabwe. Your name's very pretty. It's great to be here. It's great to have you, and you're feeling okay. Some days are better than others, but pulling through by God's grace, as you always say, each day is a step closer to being together. Absolutely, absolutely. Hang in there. Look at the members of our community, like Jose, who got approved today, and Anna, they have an interview next week. Look at them for inspiration, and know that finish line is within reach. Don't give up hope. Every day you are a day closer. All right. So I'm glad that you're here. Okay. So you have your interview tomorrow. That's exciting. You're feeling nervous. That's normal. And any last minute tips for you? I have many, many, many tips that I have disseminated in videos about preparing for the interview. Ria, could you throw in links to those videos preparing for the interview, tips for the interview, and questions? That would be a really big help for you. I will answer your question as well, in addition to giving you those videos. Make sure that you together as a couple have reviewed through your relationship history and timeline, that you're on the same page with dates, that you've reviewed through your application, you've reviewed through your evidence, that you make sure that you have all the required evidence with you. Just tons of preparation is the most important tip that I can give you. Yes, couples who are in a real relationship think, I don't need to prepare, right? I mean, we know everything about each other, but when you've been together for so long, and even if you haven't been together for a very long time, dates can start to blur together with each passing day. And so it's really important that you're very clear on the when you met, the date that you met, how that relationship progressed, when you both decided to make that relationship more official, when you got engaged, when you got married, who was there. You need to go through all of those details. Memories can fade a bit, and you might have different things that you remember. So preparation. Those are all my tips. And then you can check out those videos that Ria is going to throw on the links, and the links to those videos that Ria will be putting in the chat. Okay. So good morning to you as well, Maria. It's so lovely to see you. And I love your photo. You look adorable. You're in Canada. You're optimistic to hear back from USCIS on your petition. Your question is, does USCIS ask for certified divorce certificate on the I-129F petition submission? Typically, they only need a copy of that divorce decree. And then when you get to the next phase, the consular interview phase, that's where you have to provide or furnish a certified version for inspection. So at the very first stage of that petition, the copy of that divorce decree is sufficient. You have questions about the vaccine requirements for the adjustment of status. Is it better to start them now with your private GP, start during the medical before the K1, or just do it in the US? You lost your childhood records. I typically recommend you can go to the immigration CDC required vaccinations list and show that to your general practitioner and see if there's any that they recommend you receiving now. Otherwise, what I recommend is you'll be able to, it's your medical exam, the medical exam that's part of your immigration case, even if you don't have your childhood records, the medical clinic will do something called titers. They'll do a test, a blood test. They'll be able to see through that titers test what vaccines, what immunity you have, and then determine what vaccines you need, and then they'll administer them that day. So that's typically better to do it at the medical exam with immigration. But I do know that sometimes, they'll give you a few vaccines and you might feel a little crummy. So sometimes people want to take that list of CDC required vaccines and share that with their GP. So really, either is a viable option. Oh, this is so great, Ginger. It's so great to see you. You're watching in the US, celebrating your fiance's birthday today. Hooray indeed. Tell your fiance we all say happy birthday. All right. So good morning. Your husband married April of this year and you submitted your I-130 in June. Should we continue to submit our travel documents when we see each other to prove our relationship? So you're going to have to, when you're going through the spouse visa process, prove your relationship at each phase of the case. So it's not necessary to really supplement your I-130 petition with the travel documents now. You can let that petition pend as long as you submitted a lot of strong evidence with that initial petition. Then just hang on to any updated relationship evidence, and then you'll be able to provide it at the next phases in the process at the National Visa Center and for the consular interview. So we always tell our clients, just keep collecting, saving evidence, and have that ready, and then we can supplement it at the next steps in the process. All right, and then Ria through. You're very welcome. You'll look into those links and resources. Good. Glad that that's helpful. You're very welcome. Okay, so Callie, it's good to see you back here. Good morning to you too. When your spouse gets approved for the I-130 and then you do the I-601 or the 601 waiver, the I-601 waiver, goodness. And then after waivers approved, then do we have the affidavit of support? Will consulates look at taxes now or later? So once the I-130 is approved, if a person needs waivers, it will depend. It depends on the case type. Typically for individuals who are already in the United States, you do have the A in there. I overlooked it. So I-601A provisional waiver is something some individuals who are in the United States have to file after the I-130. And once that provisional waiver is approved, then there's an online process with the National Visa Center and a consular interview. It's at that National Visa Center and consular interview phases where the affidavit of support comes to play. So it's after that waiver is approved. Okay, so Jim, how long does it take now for a fiance to get through the Philippines? I've lived in the United States and Virginia, and you wanted to say, hi, it's Crawford. Okay. So hi to you. It's glad that you're here, and this is the first time you've spoken on here. So you're wanting to know how long does it take for the fiance visa through the Philippines? So the process or the estimated wait times that I give are an estimate of 3 different parts of immigration to get to that visa phase. And if I haven't already, there's a video coming out soon with this estimate too, so you'll get a refresher on what I'm saying here today. The very first step, the petition, we're seeing take about 8 months. So the petition, that's not the visa yet. That's the very first step, the petition proving your relationship is real and that you meet all requirements. Taking about 8 months right now for that, give or take. From there, the file is then transferred. That process is taking a little longer now, about 3 to 4 months, and then the interview will be scheduled. For our clients in the Philippines, it's with that interview is scheduled, and that's for everybody. It's going through a fiance visa process. Once that interview is scheduled and completed, that's when the fiance visa is received. For our clients in the Philippines, we're seeing about 14 months, give or take, for that fiance visa to be in hand. In some cases, it's been 12 months, but on average, about 14 months right now. And the reason that you'll find all kinds of different wait times online and everybody has a different estimated wait time, or everybody has a different overall wait time rather, is because we're dealing with estimates from 3 different parts of immigration, and those wait times go up and down. And so they are just an estimate, but that's what we're seeing right now. So hopefully that helps. All right. Great. Sounds like a plan. Glad that you'll have it on hand and ready to go. That's perfect. You're very welcome. All right. And so Callie, is my affidavit of support taxes relevant now or later? Because this year you had surgery and it's not good income, unlike my normal. So what you were asking earlier about the petition and the provisional waiver, the affidavit of support, that financial information is going to come into play after the provisional waiver is approved. Those are taking many years right now to get approved. So it's going to be a few years before your taxes come into play, since you said you are still at the petition phase of the process. All right. Well, I am proud of us. We got through all of the questions, all of the questions here today. So it's really been great to be with all of you here. Please do check out all of our free resources. I'll be back here again next week. Like I said, we will be doing this live on next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then how much income do you need to make? Well, it depends. It depends on your household size. And it depends on, it depends on your household size. That's the main thing. There's something called a poverty guideline. And depending on your household size, you compare that to something called the I-864P poverty guideline. I have tons of videos on the affidavit of support as well. And so you'll look at that I-864P and compare your household size to determine how much you need to make. All right, everyone, have a great day. Have a great day as well. Maria, it was great to be with all of you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Hang in there. Don't lose hope. The finish line is within sight. Every day, you are one day closer. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.